going.
Yeah, we going, baby. Okay.
Number 3, holy shit. Only like 500 more until we get to the 𝐀𝐤𝐞𝐫𝐢𝐜𝐚 level.
Oh, that's where he's at?
Yeah.
I watched our last one, and the next thing Spotify play was Joe Rogan, episode 2408. And I was like, all right, there's only 2,406 more we gotta do. And we might be at Rogan level.
Welcome to A Psychopath's Guide to Enlightenment. I'm Blair Black. I'm a psychopath, and I'm with my baby, love of my life, most beautiful, wisest, smartest, coolest woman
I like the podcast.
I've ever met. Today, we are going to be discussing chapter 2 of my book, Psychopath's Guide to Enlightenment, which is about why, to become enlightened, you have to leave. You got to leave your hometown. Every story about every great, wise man ever in history ever always starts with them leaving their hometown, gaining whatever knowledge or perspective they get, and then coming back. You don't got to do the coming back part, but you do have to do the fucking leaving part. And we are going to smoke and drink, and we're going to figure this shit out. It should be easy.
Oh, yeah. Breezy.
Easy.
Kids. What's the problem? Let's go.
Okay, should I read a little bit from chapter 2?
Yeah. Let's see what you got.
From the book, chapter 2, You Have to Leave. The reason most men will never be enlightened or even happy in their lives is because your genetic and instinctual programming are at odds with your 21st century lifestyle. And your need for acceptance from the group has you constantly choosing against your own interests.
There it is.
What do you think about that?
I think that's good.
Your need for acceptance from the group has you constantly choosing against your own interests. And that's a major reason why you have to leave. Being exiled from the group used to be a death sentence, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's a fucking hookup.
Right. Right. So why do we act to be liked? It is in our interest to act to not be liked.
Because,
but I can't.
because
I'm like, nice.
We lived for so long in nature, you know,
Yeah.
and the wilderness that we used to fear is gone. But your fucking brainstem or whatever, you know, just does not know that yet. And it's...
Say that your fear of nature is gone?
Well, the wilderness that we used to fear being alone in, you know, I think the zebra, that scary-ass world that the zebra doesn't want to be left in is no longer a scary-ass world. But it's like, wherever it is back here or whatever, it does not get it. And it's not going to get it for a very long time, you know, until it goes away. And I don't think... It's not going to go away till we evolve into some new thing, which is, I think, kind of rapidly approaching, but, you know, not for many, you know, hundreds of thousands of years.
That we're not deer anymore, basically.
Yeah. The single easiest first step you can take towards enlightenment is packing up everything you own right now and moving literally anywhere else in the world.
I don't even think take your stuff, but...
Yeah, even better.
You know...
Pack a suitcase
because there's stuff,
of your
because
favorite thing.
It sort of boils down to refrigerators.
That's true, actually.
And toilets, you know,
that's
kind of thing. Like, but they're everywhere, so just go.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Rent
actually.
them, you know,
that's even,
kind of
thing. That's even better advice.
Yeah,
I would sell everything you own.
Yeah.
And go.
There's money.
Anywhere.
There's capital to leave.
Yeah, and go literally anywhere. I think.
And that part's fun.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be nicer than where you're from. It just has to be a different place. There's perspective to be gained from moving one town over, I think.
Yes. In part, it's hard to leave the herd because the programming is to stay with the herd, you know, stay with the people. And some people might think, like, I won't know anybody if I go somewhere. Bingo. That's why you do it. Like, that is the clean. Yeah. Oh, jealous. And that's why you do it. It's good for you to not know anybody because, in a sense, you're free.
Yeah, and you're also free to reinvent yourself. When you grow up someplace, everybody that's watched you grow up has expectations about, you know, how you should act or how you should be or whatever. You know, that's culture basically, is everybody doing the same shit that other people did before them because they did that, because they did that, because they did that. So when you start breaking culture, I feel like people are like, the fuck? You know, and if you can get away from them, you can really be whoever you want to be without the, you know, judgment. Judgment for being such a minor thing, you know, just like a look or a sound, energy, it's very strong. People are very affected by it. You know, for it just being like, you know, like, it's very hurtful to people.
It's like along the respect, like of how like hurtful it is, even though it's your ticket to freedom.
Your perspective expands exponentially as you travel in literally any direction from your hometown, and the further you go, the bigger it gets as to why you need to leave. Because it'll expand your perspective.
Yes. And your perspective is your life.
Totally. It's your reality.
It's your reality. So if you go and expand it, then you can pick your life, your perspective.
And it sounds kind of stupid, maybe, but I feel like perspective is geographically centered, or geographically based in many ways. I mean, the further you go, the larger it gets, and I think logically astronauts have the greatest perspective of us all. It must be profound to see Earth from space and, just, oh my God, it's my fucking home. Nothing matters, and all these problems are so stupid. Look at it down there. Just this.
Right.
I mean, that's what being a free spirit is being able to put yourself into the body of the astronaut, which is easy to do.
There.
Yeah, right?
I thought, man, maybe I am different. It's like, but anyways.
People say that's empathy.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, but it's not empathy, it's free-spiritedness.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Empathy is feeling bad, but...
This free spirit example, I think, is interesting. Kind of explain it if you could.
That, like, you're somebody who is free-spirited, empathy and free-spiritedness are somewhat synonymous in the way that they're being used today, but free-spirited used to mean, right now free-spirited means that, like, you fucking, are a fun person who'll do whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But free-spirited used to mean...
You'll leave.
Yeah, but free-spirited used to mean that you were somebody who was capable of putting yourself in putting your spirit in somebody else's body and understanding life from their perspective.
That's interesting.
Yeah, totally.
And then are some people, like, so free-spirited that they feel crazy? Like... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, are some types of crazy
that's funny as fuck.
Just incredibly free spirits? But why do we even start talking about free spirits? And to leave or no?
Perspective.
Perspective. That's right.
Because it's like a cheap way to gain perspective, I guess, is to be a free spirit. But I think a lot of people can't do it because they don't want to see themselves as capable of being, like, bad. Because I think people don't have the perspective to put themselves in the position of the Jews. They only have the perspective to put themselves in the position of the Jews, not the Nazis. And they don't see, like, I would never do that. It's like, well, see how that you would do that.
Right.
How did they do that? It's not like, don't see how you did that. It's like, how did they do it? How did that happen or whatever?
Fear.
Right. Just to have and to have the perspective to understand the fear and the propaganda and the blah, 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 everything that created that. But it's like, people are like, no, I'd never do that. But I would try and keep somebody in 2020 from getting medical treatment if they didn't want to get vaccinated or whatever.
Right.
It's like, but that's like Nazi behavior.
The
like,
people
no, I would never be like.
They should die.
Right. The should die. Right. It's like, don't you see how?
It's like, now that is very parallel.
Yeah. Don't you see how this is Nazi behavior while you're, like, calling people Nazis? You need to leave home to gain perspective, because without perspective, you're not that fucking smart. All educated people, it's very important for you to remember that all knowledge is not academic knowledge. Only half of knowledge is academic knowledge. The other half is wisdom. And that is not something that can be learned or can be taught. That's part of why, if you never left your hometown, you can't be that fucking smart.
Because you have to go take the steps to gain it. You can't, like, listen to us say it.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, great, my perspective is better now.
Right.
It's like, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Right. No, you have to do it for yourself.
At most, you can be like, I'm kind of feeling what they're saying, and then do it yourself.
Caring what people think is holding you back, and since you're hardwired to care what they think, the most sensible and easiest thing to do is leave.
And if you leave, like, it could be easier to be gay, say, where you're like, I don't really want to deal with that and, like, these religious beliefs and grandma, I just...
That's a whole nother great point. If you're gay in Nebraska, what's that, or like rural ass whatever, you should move to San Francisco, or to any city, I guess.
Right.
They're all pretty gay. Rather than try and change, everybody's mind in Nebraska. And same with, if you're in San Francisco but you have a Nebraska mindset, don't be worried all these fucking fags ruining San Francisco. Just get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Go and be with your people. They're not ruining it, it's just they're with their people and you be with your people, and it makes more sense than trying to change.
The fight.
Yeah, San Francisco. I always feel that way about, like, the Catholic Church or Christianity. It's like they're like, accept gay people, accept this, accept that. It's like,
but they don't.
They shouldn't. Just don't be Christian. From the book. So humans are herd animals, but unfortunately for us, the group that we are currently seeking acceptance and validation from is a group of weak, entitled, fearful, low consciousness people with a negative worldview who don't have your best interest at heart. And they will actively try and talk you out of your hopes and dreams because of their own fear and lack of self-confidence. It's typical narcissistic projection. They think that just because they couldn't accomplish something, that you couldn't possibly accomplish it either. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons that you need to leave, because if you want to be different
Yes.
or great, you know,
Excel.
then I think you really have to go. Because, like I said, those people think, people think that, when you aim high, I feel like people try and talk you low,
Yeah.
because they think like, that's too high of a goal. I could never accomplish that. There's no way this person could accomplish it either. And we see that all the time with people, that we know.
Right.
He can't do that. People really putting low expectations on people, and if you have
project what they can do on
Yeah.
I don't even think it's conscious. I just think like they know they can't do it, so they think you can't do it.
Almost,
but it's like no perspective. That's why you gotta go.
Well, projection I think is the good word, because it's like
it
you could almost interpret anything anybody's saying to you as projection. When you talk to people, you can almost just be like, okay, so this is you. Projection.
Right. It all is.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, it is all this, because I project onto people that, no, you can do it.
Right.
Because I think I can do it.
Right.
So I don't tell people, no, you can't do it, because I'm like, you can do it, I can do it, you can do it.
And I've been taught recently that some people can't. I'm they can't
do it?
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
the positive of the same energy.
Yes, you're right. I never thought like that,
and
but
we're
it's
also wrong.
true. Yeah.
We're just as wrong. We're like, you can do it, and it's like it turns out that sometimes no.
Yeah.
Sometimes what one considers basic is not basic. And it is kind of funny. We're all wrong. So, what's your advice on how to leave? And I guess, just in summation, why you gotta leave.
I guess in closing,
Yes.
you only need to leave if you want to be enlightened or you want to be different than the people around you. Otherwise, just carry on. You're doing fine.
Yeah, you don't have to leave.
No need. All right, should we do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3
It was a good one. I guess that's not for us to say if it was a good or not, but I thought it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, we'll see. But I thought it was good.
You thought it was good?
I thought it was good.
I thought it was good. Must have been good.
It was
Cheers.
good.